Hey, I'm back. I apologize for the last videos. I had to delete a bunch because I didn't realize that spraying was so loud. So I'm inside now and I'm going to talk about some of the other exercises you can do to work on your balance. And we're going to have to pretend the beam is here. So remember, when you're working on your static balance, you're going to be right behind your beam. So my imaginary beam is right in front of me. I hold on to the beam. I start to lift the leg and the leg barely comes off the ground, and then start releasing from the beam. Now, let's say your balance starts to get, and then I can't remember if the last one this one here, did we cover this? I think we covered that. So this is the heel toe stand. Your beam is right here. You're going to be standing heel toe for that balance. And then for this one, we're not assessing this one. We're just using this one for practice. It's a static balance exercise you can be doing. So your beam is right here. You are heel toe right here, and your beam is there, okay? And then you're going to start to let that beam go. And so those are two exercises you can do to be working on your balance, your static balance. Now, let's say your static balance is okay. You don't really have any issues with that. You want to start working on some dynamic. So a couple of ways we do that. I pretend that I have a balance beam sometimes, and this rug is not very good. Well, maybe. I mean, this line right here could kind of be my balance beam example. You would want it to be a lot longer than this. But let's just say you have this balance beam. So you're just going to practice. This is actually a little bit narrow for beginners. So you could pretend it's a little bit wider or whatever. But what you're going to do is just pretend you're on a balance beam. It doesn't have to be a little skinny thing. It could be fat. It could be wide. And then you're going to be walking on your balance beam, and then taking your time on your imaginary balance beam. Now, it's just on the floor. It's not raised in any way, so you don't need to worry about falling off of it, but you're going to be just flat on something. You can even use like a tile in your house or something like that, where you're pretending that you have to walk on this particular balance beam. Like my tile, I think, is 12 inches. That would be a great start. And then you start getting narrower and narrower. And also you can start getting to where your feet are closer and closer together, like this, where you're really getting on a very narrow balance beam. Some other ways that you can progress that, where it's static dynamic-ish, would be you're going to be standing on one leg. Let's say you're done with the beam. You're okay. You don't really need a beam anymore. You can stand on one leg. Now you're going to start progressing it by moving limbs around. So I can start moving hands around. Don't move your eyeballs. Eyeballs are a huge progression. So whenever you're working on your balance, do not move your eyeballs until you know that you have very good balance. So it's going to be here, and then you're going to do leg. And what I'll do is you can draw your name or the alphabet or something like that with the loose leg, and then change sides and do the same thing. So work on those kind of progressions is great. The next one that you'll do with that is you'll be practicing standing on one leg and then move your eyeballs around. And if you can move your eyeballs around, then your balance is pretty good. Move your head around, move your eyeballs around. I guess I need to work on my balance a little bit. So those are some great ways, but remember the eyeball one is difficult. So those are some great ways also. I'm going to also piggyback this one on with some other things that I mentioned before. I said to somebody, that she needs to work on her lunges and step-ups and things like that for leg strength. And again, if your balance is no good, you should not be doing lunges and you should not be doing step-ups. However, let me show you this way. A great way to start with a step-up balance is just using a plain old mat. This is just a yoga mat. And then it'll help you gain a little bit of confidence as you practice your step-ups. So for one, it's an uneven surface, so you're working a little bit more on your balance there, because it's going to require a little bit more neural work on the part of like communicating with your brain on how to keep that stability in an unstable environment, because the mat is a little bit unstable. But also I'm just kind of gaining a little bit of confidence in the step up and step down. And what I would do is stay with the same side every time. So I go right leg lead every time, right leg lead every time, right leg lead. That way your brain doesn't have to switch to the left leg, to the right leg, to the left leg. So you just do right leg every single time, and then you do left leg the next time. And you can start with, depending on your balance and your tolerance, maybe start with 3 or 4 each leg, take a break, do more. If you're pretty good at it and you want to do more, you can even make a little cardio out of it or something like that. Then we're going to add a little bit of, we can actually add more instability and make it a little higher. So I'll just fold it in half and do the very same thing. So that'll help you gain some confidence here. Now remember, this one is a little bit scary because there's a tripping ability here. So this isn't a great mat for somebody who doesn't have very good balance. But if you have a mat that'll sit flat on the ground and not be puffy like mine is, it would be better if your balance is not so great. Just because there's this your safety is really very, very important for this, because you want to set yourself up to win. I don't mean to be so overboard with these things, but you need to be in order to train yourself to gain that confidence. So, a mat that would sit flat would be great, and then you start working on that up, down, down there. But don't set yourself up to lose with a mat like mine, where it's got this kind of big gap right here that's making it so it's a little harder to keep that balance. So those are some methods that you can do, things that are probably, most people have a yoga mat. If not, get one. So some exercises you can do to start practicing your balance. Thanks for joining me.